Hello and welcome to a new episode at Mindset Mastery. I'm your host, Ahmed Assaf, and today we have an amazing guest, Mr. Roberto Capodieci from
All right,
Italy.
yes.
And it took me a little bit to just to know how to pronunciate the last name. I love your last name. How are you today?
I'm doing great, and thank God it's not me having to pronounce yours because it would be more difficult for me. And thank you for having me in your show. Yes.
Yeah, you're welcome. Today we'll be discussing a very essential topic, which is the education system and the school, and we'll be discussing the learning processes because we've been conditioned that to be successful in this life, you have to go to school and then you have to go to the university and have your own job and then move forward in this life. I just wanted to make my audience sure that I'm not against the education system. But if I want to talk with my kids first, I don't ask them if they want to go to school or not. I would ask them why they're going to school. So today we'll be diving more and more in the current education system because we are now living in 24 and this is the AI century. So we should be making lots of changes to be in harmony and synchronized with the AI. So if we would like to start with but discussing what is your perspective regarding the current education system?
Yeah, is quite clear if we want that as soon as the world entered the industrial revolution, we would need it, of a certain class of workers. And then as it is advanced, there is more offices. So we really needed those class of workers, which are shaped really in the current schooling system. Everybody's sitting to a desk. When you go to work, everybody's sitting to a desk. Shut up, listen to instruction from the boss, go to work, shut up, listen to instruction from the boss, execute orders with not much discussion. If you cannot do them all at the office, bring them back home, hear the homework. So it's really a way to shape a human to then comply to this kind of work. And it was necessary because there was a huge need of a certain class of people. It's also true that in the past, not everybody could afford education, even before it became publicly subsidized in most countries, not everywhere. And so
Mhm.
you get the farmers because people that cannot go to the school, worker without need of education, a few very elected that goes to university. Again, more for the class that they represent than for the education that they receive, right? It's more the small club of the powerful that are gonna meet and then direct things later on. Again, shifting into the work, section of life.
Mhm.
So the education system has been built mostly to measure the capacity of who can comply with this set of standard. Obviously, it also contains some useful things for life, but it's not really studied for preparing a kid to be excellent. Also, because it will be quite dangerous. Everybody is super excellent. Then you get a problem to manage, population of heavy thinkers and so on and so forth. We saw what happened in the 70s and 80s universities, where there have been a lot of revolutions around the world, the push from people that were allowed to think more, understand injustice, and so on and so forth. So I would believe that currently, if parents, let's forget this step we're entering into with AI, but at the current level, if parents want the kids to excel, probably the choice will be the one of analyzing what is that excellent people been doing as a part of education and imitate that. If you look all the top leaders, they have a very small things in common with the rest of the people, having a lot of things in common with each other on what and how they've been educated to then become presidents of things. Sometimes it's not university; it's more a few key aspects. Um, just to close, there is a very interesting um, person, quite boring to listen to, but it's called John Taylor Gatto. He
Mhm.
was public school teacher in the state of New York, I think. He resigned with a big letter on the newspaper saying how wrong he was, feeling guilty in being sort of accomplice of this aspect of education where people were brought to, standardized in them, standard tests. Each person is unique, so there is a need of a precise education for each person, I guess.
Yeah. So we've been conditioned to know more, but to do less. And through our education system, we've been like tested on our memory. Just remember this, and we'll go for exam, and then we'll see if we're our memory at that time and our conscious awareness is just to get you the right answer. And we've been conditioned also that whatever results you get, that's your potential. But
Mm.
the reality, it's not like that. There's three things they never taught, or we never discussed that at school, which is so essential. The number one is who we are and our capabilities and how we think, how we feel, how we act, why we have those results. Two is earning money, because we've been raised that in order to earn money, you should have a certificate and you should have like to go to school, university, and then have sell your time against money. I'm not against that, but it should be understood how to earn money instead of giving value. And then that's the real earning money. And the third thing is the decision. They never taught us about the decision, and not taking decisions in our life would lead to doubt, worry, and fear. So if we're talking now at today's education system and the school, the tools that are in the education, what do you think there should be like essential points or essential courses that should be given and those introduced to this education system to be aligned somehow with this new technologies?
Well, the one thing that I notice often is that as I was a kid, either you have an encyclopedia at home, or you have an uncle, a
Yes.
family member that knows it all, or you need to be in school where there is a teacher that is preparing a specific subject and transfer the knowledge to you in a way or another. But today that's not the case anymore because in our hand, with a simple cell phone, we have all the knowledge of the words accessible to us, right? And probably it's no more necessary that I go in a place with 40 other people to try to listen to somebody that knows something so that I can learn from them, right? Because I can access the knowledge, I can access trainings system for every age in every language, to learn those things. So probably school should focus on a few other things that are more on the human aspect than on the subject aspect. First of all, how to learn. That's the most important things because good schools should say, okay, look, today you have these tools, how you use those tools, how you recognize good quality information from bad quality information, and how you make use of that. And then the opposite, which is the presentation. So if I have the opportunity to have myself confronting with somebody else, I should be able to try to pitch my idea, present what I learned, and be corrected if I don't do it properly. So this is an exercise that probably human to human is more a necessity. But once we have the basis, so we know how to live in a society, to be polite, to know how to listen somebody else, to present our ideas to somebody else, and know how to go to learn, is more a matter of discipline and desire to go in a particular direction. The rest of the tools are in our hand and we can use them. Unfortunately, the mechanical school requires kids to still go through a process that is totally out of the current method of life. So sometimes it becomes stressful. Kids think they are doing this to do a favor to their parents. As many times I say, the real magic of school for parents is that they remove your kids for half of a day, so you're free to be yourself without the kids. But not for the education aspect, just because you can leave your kids in somebody else's hands for a while. Um, Truth is that exactly this is not really a very powerful advantage, meaning that for the kid himself, Kid need to understand that the school is an opportunity, is a tool that he can use to go in the direction that he wants to go. But that's understanding what somebody wants to do in life is the first most important things. I knew it since I was a little kid. As my brother and my sister in our family, our DNA is more pointed that we knew from very little. But I have friends that until they were 19 years old, they had no idea what want to do in life. And I are excellent people. One become doctor, excellent doctor, but he could have been a musician in the same way rather than, whatever else. So it's important to understand the kind of a person because not everybody is a potential entrepreneur, not everybody is an inventor, not everybody is an artist. So each person has his own goal and way to monetize this goal, I guess.
Yeah, everyone is unique, but we have to unlash that to the surface and this show that greatness, and that needs like some responsibility from both the parents and the school. And in the school especially, I would love to elaborate more on the how to learn. I love that because once you start understanding how to learn, it's the key of understanding, and understanding is the key to freedom.
Yeah,
We've been
absolutely.
conditioned to just like blockages thrown on us. Just know this, know this, remember this. But we've never took the depth of the things, the why behind the things, how to know and do the things. That's why it's only in the conscious mind available, that knowledge. We are walking encyclopedias, but our results, if we look to our stories or our results, it's inferior because they never taught us how to change that, how to do that, what we know. And that's why we have those gaps in our life. And here is the skill of listening, which is so essential because from small ages we should be practicing listening and listening to understand and not to reply and not to just react to that, to observe and then respond to that and not just waiting to give an answer.
Right. Listening is an art.
Yes.
You know the Never-Ending Story, the movie, which was a
Mhm.
book. The author called Michel Ende is German. He wrote another book called Momo. And Momo is a little girl that has this amazing capacity to listen. She sits in this park. People go next to her, start talking by themselves, and solve the problem by themselves. She just do nothing. She just listen to these people and help them practically meditate. I do believe that. Listening and acquiring also knowledge while listening or
Mhm.
watching, because are things that probably is hard to set a tool to teach this to us, but probably it require like a sort of a form of an actual teacher to help us guide us through this. The capacity to focus, I mean, even focusing on something, thing is not easy. The capacity to say, okay, now my attention goes in this one thing. I do this one thing. I get not distracted. Is also something that doesn't come automatically, and is something that should be taught. So learning how to learn, which is the key of all. I do believe that is part of several components, to listen, understand, because sometimes you can listen, understand, acquire information when you listen, and as well, like the understanding and the connection with already of a topic that is new is part of the element of how you acquire focus, memory. Some people need to take notes. Other people, if they take notes, get distracted because also there we are different one from the other. So also this should be really customized to the person.
Mhm.
But then you can create very powerful people because I had friends that they hear things one time and it remains with them forever, so they can fish it out. Other people that just need to follow logic, like myself, for example, I don't have a memory based on copy and paste, but I have a memory based on really making sense of something. So hardly I remember a date. But I remember number because they sound like music to me. So it's easy to make the music of a number and repeat it later. But the rest of the things need to have a logic. So for each person, there is also different things that somebody can do based on the personality.
Mhm.
And this the school should also address, help kids understand which is a good future. It's funny enough, I don't know, for example, in Italy, I'm Italian, in school, if you have, I don't know, say 10 subjects during the year, when is the end of the school year? Maybe there are three subjects you were not good. They make you study more what you are not good at so that
Mm.
you can potentially pass rather than say, okay, forget you're not good to play the flute music. Who cares? Focus on something you like and you're very well, so you become
Uh-huh.
amazing on that. But they really try to flatten up people so they're all the same, which is wrong. If I'm not good in something, don't torture me with that. Motivate me with something that I'm good at, something that I can find satisfaction in. So it's really reversing a little bit the method that schools are pushing to people, I guess.
Yeah, and also just opening the space for the children, just because they start teaching them the five senses, and we've been conditioned to just react to those five senses, what we see, smell, taste, and touch. But if you want to control and you have to be creative, you have to use your six mental faculties, and you already talk about it. You talk about the will, which is the focus, and you already talk about the imagination. Just open the space to think and reasoning, thinking in a different way, thinking in a certain way, and the memory. Everyone have a great memory. And the intuition, it's our sixth sense, what our heart of the heart is telling us to do, and the perception, how we view and the attitude towards the world. So once we include those six mental faculties in our educational system, we can make a huge difference in our results. We start more understanding what's going on around of us.
Absolutely. And in this point, in fact, there has been a huge movement of homeschooling,
Hmm.
which in many countries just a way not to spend money for school tuitions for some parents, maybe in other because parents really had the time to devote to their kids. Other are made to say, I rather hire those teachers specialize on things that I want my son or daughter to grow more. So it's a very wide range of what this homeschooling means. But I think that in the moment that we can control and channel knowledge through customized lessons, thanks to artificial intelligence, for
Yes.
example, then we can reach amazing things. Because I do believe there are some bases that are there necessary for everybody. If you don't know how to read and write, hardly you can do much else. So if you don't know the basic of math, hardly you can make sense of other things. So these things should be learned, but sometimes people don't like them. So mostly when it comes to little kids. Little kids have a passion that is, I like to dance, I like soccer. But I can tell you, you can learn geography through soccer. Why? Because soccer players are from everywhere around the world, and soccer matches are played around the world. So I can teach you geography through soccer. Then I can teach you history because attached to past event, victories, you can say what was happening in the world. So the difficulty for a single teacher that follow 40 kids is to customize lesson in this way.
Hmm.
But artificial intelligence, large language models that are just the knowledge and are programmed to prepare it and present it to you the form and way that you want, can easily do this, can prepare, lessons, questions, and pivot based on the interest or the less interest that the kid
Yeah.
shows on how these things are prepared. So kids that is mature and committed enough can by itself sit in front of the ChatGPT of the situation and say, "Look, you're my teacher. I love dance, but I need to learn mathematics. Can you teach me mathematics through dance?" And the ChatGPT is gonna do this by and can be corrected and addressed as they want. If not, can be parents that can sit with the kids and prepare ChatGPT with a very strong prompt to do lessons for maybe tomorrow we can purchase those prompts already preset, or
Yeah.
ask another language model to prepare the prompt for lessons of this sort. It's not complicated. What I'm trying to say is something that is already there. It's not something of the
Yeah.
future, you say.
And here is the point is how we could just add joy to to education and make it as an art, because the way how you're talking about it, it's an art. So the teacher or even the parents have to apply that in a joyful way, not just do this, do
Yeah.
that, follow this, follow that. They have to be more creative with their ideas and have their communication, just to develop even the communication skills of their children, and even also practice their public speaking and be like presenting the ideas, how what they want to do, or what they listen to them. And this will give like more spice to the thing. It's just not make it a rigid programs or even a way of thinking, and that
Yeah.
would leads to creativity. And here comes to the question is, how do you think we could use the AI more and more to have like a better results as a children? Because do you think they could just start using it alone, or they should be having parents with them?
AI is a tool, right? It's like having access to knowledge pretty much in a much better way than Googling. I mean, there are things that you need to Google, you can ask to the AI, and there are things that you achieve asking to AI and not to Google. So both are useful. I don't want to say that one are going to replace the other. And the things that's coming up are what are called agents. And I think, for example, this small device that I have here is called Rabbit R1. This is another way without using the cell phone to access AI. He has a camera, he has touchscreen, so I can ask questions and things. The idea is that one agent is going to grow together with me. So he learns as I interact, he learns as I expose my facts, a little bit like ChatGPT is doing now. And more he learn, more he can learn from what I need. More is going to be really customized around my persona, right?
Hmm.
So I wonder if tomorrow each kid is going to grow together with his own AI agent that start like a child as well, but with the power that is behind and grows, and so it can compensate. Because we don't have to forget that as much as with a cell phone we can access any information, now with AI we answer questions. So it's like if the planet, every person in the planet that has access to the internet has suddenly 20% more IQ than he had before because he's supported by those models. And we cannot discard the fact that people use it. So, right or wrong, whatever, it doesn't matter. If suddenly somebody that could obtain as a result 80 now can obtain as a result 100, thanks to this, means that he can provide services worth 100 to the third party that doesn't care how he's using, how he's doing it, right? So when it comes to education, this is the same thing. I can educate myself thanks to these tools, but I can also educate myself of working with these tools to produce a result. I can learn how to do public speaking by myself, thanks to the AI. But I can also learn how to do public speaking using AI as a tool to do a better public speaking, in real time when I do it. I don't know, maybe I have my small device that can feel how the public is reacting to my things and suggest in my ear what is the best things to say next in real time when I'm doing the public speaking process. So it will be a tool that makes me better at my skill set during life because it's a tool that now people have, and those that don't use it are just those left behind. And those that use it are those that are going to be on the front line. So there is these two different kind of education when AI comes into learning how to do things. Is one is using as a tool to learn, but one as a tool to actually do the things, right? So.
So let's go back to the physical world and back to humanity. And with all this revolution of the AI, there's still some just base stones that must be inside our kids, which is love and giving and forgiveness. So, what would be your last message to our audience?
I think that we are born with these things innate in us, are suddenly are removed from us as we grow older, right? Every child is a singer, is innate, is there because we are by nature made in such a way, right? So
Mhm.
we have all this quality. I believe and I hope that there are chances to keep them, cultivate them, and make them better. Uh, I do also believe that mathematically, the final end of which is better for everybody is on the good side. You know, a war that destroys things, kill people, never leaves everybody a winner. You know, unfortunately, and this is between personal interaction. I love that. AI as well. Sometimes I had a very discussion with the landlord in Italy. I wrote my things, then I went to ChatGPT to correct my grammar. And ChatGPT, besides correcting my grammar, says, you know what? If your goal is to get back the deposit, probably you should choose a more diplomatic way to handle the situation. Because if you write an email like this, you're gonna, you feel satisfied to say what you think, and you may be right, but it's not gonna get any result.
Hmm.
And this has been an amazing feedback um, from ChatGPT because it didn't just fix my grammar; it also made me become a better person and understand better how to deal with complicated situation, which is the optimal goal and the means to get to the goal. So I have faith that it can be much better than sometimes angry parents that are not able to transmit these values to their kids. I don't know.
Yeah. So it's a responsibility on both the parents and the school to feed or just to nurture that kids or the children with love and give and forgiveness, because it's already there. As you said, it's the essence of who we are, who created us. And just be creative in educating our children or our kids to get to the point to make them creative and not just being in with limited beliefs, or we can't do this or we can't achieve that.
But if school and parents don't do it, who knows? Maybe AI can do it
Yeah.
in behalf
Wait,
of
one
whoever,
day,
right?
wait, one day. We don't know. There's lots of variables with the AI. So I want really to thank you, Mr. Roberto, for this amazing episode. I'm looking forward to see you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.